Hi, thanks for joining us live. We are really excited. We're at Net Impact's headquarters in Oakland, and we're going to have an interview with some of the staff and learn how they're running their nonprofit and get to know them a little bit more. So take a look at their office.
Hello.
Good morning.
Welcome.
So we have Hillary replacing Emily. She wasn't able to make it, and we also have Sam.
Hi.
Good morning.
So thanks so much for joining us. I'm really excited to be here. You guys are members of TechSoup, so we're always happy to come and get to know our members a little bit more and the nonprofit that you run. So I guess the first question is, what is Net Impact? So maybe you guys can tell me a little bit more.
Yeah. So Net Impact is a chapter-based organization that's made up of students and professionals who are extremely motivated to turn their passion for sustainability and different social issues, environmental issues, social issues from across the board into action. And Net Impact is essentially an accelerator for them to do that. So a little bit of history about the organization. We were founded in 1993 by a group of MBAs who had this sort of fringe idea at the time that business could be a source for good. So this is at a time when triple bottom line theory and people, planet, profits, the concept of people, planet, and profits was just beginning to materialize. And this group of MBAs got together and said businesses should be considerate of not only their economic outcome, but also their social and environmental impact. And so at the time we were called, in 1993 we were called Students for a Responsible Business, SRB. And in 1999 the name changed to Net Impact to incorporate this change, this shift in our network from not only incorporating MBAs, but also other students and professionals as well. And today we have over 300 chapters globally and over 100,000 members strong.
Wow, that's really impressive. So what is your role, each of you, at Net Impact? What do you do?
Sure, so I'm on the client programs team here, and what we do on the client programs team is work directly with companies who want to become more sustainable. So we will work with them wherever they are in their journey of sustainability, and we'll put on different programs for them, depending on, number one, if their goals are in line with Net Impact's goals within the realm of sustainability. And number two, we're looking at, will the program benefit our network, and will they find value in it? Will they find value in the skills and the connections and the experience that they're going to receive and take away from that program?
And I work on the chapters team. So there's a group of us who work on supporting the over 300 chapters that we have, and those chapters have over 1,000 leaders. And so we engage directly with those leaders to support them, provide them resources, knowledge base, connections with each other so that they're building a community, both of the chapters, but then also of the chapter leaders in general. Basically doing everything we can to make sure that the chapters are happy and healthy and have all of the resources that they need to turn those passions into action.
Okay, so tell me a little bit more about the chapters. I think that's really impressive that you have 300 globally. So kind of how do you run those, and how are those kind of structured? Like, how do you manage all of those across the globe?
Yeah, so one of the great things about our chapters is the variety that's there. So we have chapters in Nairobi, Kenya. We have chapters at the undergraduate level in Oregon and at the graduate level in New York State, and then in cities around the United States and around the world. And so the great thing is each of those chapters is able to figure out what are the passions of their members, and then what programming should they put on, and what resources and networking can they provide to allow their members to turn those passions into action. And that's going to look a little bit different depending on where you are, and whether you're talking about an engineering program, or you're talking about a business program, or an undergraduate program, or you're talking about professionals in a city. And we want to make sure that we provide resources so that all of those chapter leaders can meet the needs of their members and really accelerate that impact forward.
So how does a chapter start? If a school is interested in kind of starting a chapter, do they reach out to you, or do you also go and actively try to recruit schools to participate and become a chapter?
Absolutely. So we do both. We do outreach to places where we think there's interest, and then anyone can go on our website, netimpact.org, and look to see if there is a chapter either in their local community or at their college or university. And if there's not, then there's an opportunity to start a new one there and get involved at a deeper level of building something from the ground up.
Okay, very cool.
And I also want to jump in here. We also have chapter outreach in the program, so you don't need to be a chapter member or a chapter leader to do one of our programs. And so a lot of our chapter, or some of our chapter leaders will actually come from doing a program that we've offered, and they love their experience, and then they decide to launch a chapter on campus.
What kind of programs would that be?
So on the programs team, we have a variety of different topic areas, all under the realm of sustainability and social impact. So we host programs that address anything from sustainable agricultural practices to civic impact and civic leadership to racial equity to looking at renewable resources, renewable energy resources. So really, depending, as Sam said, depending on the interest of the chapter and the individuals within that chapter, they can select from this menu of chapters and get involved. And we also have our own outreach avenues that we're pushing for our programs team as well. So we go outside of network in that case.
Very cool. So what was it like for you? I know you led a chapter before you joined Net Impact, so can you tell me a little bit about that experience?
Yeah, absolutely. So I led the chapter at the University of Michigan's MBA program at the Ross School of Business. And one of the amazing things about doing that was I got to work with a board of about 30 other students who were passionate about the same things that I was. They were all interested in using their careers and their lives to make an impact in social and environmental change. And then as a board, we were able to provide resources and support for our members. We were able to help guide them through their own career search processes, to provide programming to support that, and really engage their passions and provide an outlet so that they could turn that into something tangible.
Very cool. And so why do you think that the chapter model is successful? I know we have a lot of nonprofit viewers who maybe are thinking of expanding their reach and impact and thinking how they can make their nonprofit larger. So why do you think that the chapter model is so successful for Net Impact? And kind of, I know that's part of your mission essentially to make leaders from like a younger perspective, but why do you think that that kind of model has worked so well?
Yeah, the chapter model really allows us to amplify our impact. We are able to work directly with our chapter leaders, and I'll give them the tools and the programming to impact their members so that through those 1,000-odd chapter leaders, we're able to impact 100,000 members around the world. And so the chapter model allows us that opportunity to do that, and it also allows for more tailoring to individual programs at the chapter level, so that if there is a specific chapter in a certain city that's really passionate about climate change, they can really do that and fulfill the needs of those members. And if there's a chapter at an engineering school that's really passionate about sustainable food systems, they can build programming to meet the needs of those members and turn their passions into action. And so the chapter model allows flexibility in terms of meeting those needs at the individual member level, and then also the ability to amplify our impact.
Yeah, I think that's really important, is that you have different avenues that people can engage in, so they can you really meet them where they're the most passionate. I think that that's like a key takeaway for nonprofits, is if you're focusing on many different things, you can think about where you can meet different people and really still be able to get a larger amount of people involved. And so the next question I have is, I know you also work with professionals and companies and other nonprofits, so can you speak more about your kind of like partnerships or other things that you work on around that?
Yeah, so our relationship with other companies and nonprofits kind of varies. So they can engage with Net Impact in a variety of ways. They can act as a sponsor for our annual Net Impact program. They can sponsor a networking event for our chapter leaders and chapter members. Or they can, as I mentioned earlier, they can do a program. And in that case, we would work with them and talk about what their goals are and make sure that we're all aligned and that our program participants are really going to extract experiences and skills and connections that are valuable to them, and then take it one step further and be able to go out on the ground into the real world and execute change. And as Sam mentioned, we really have such a wide variety of members in our network, and it's so cool to me to see how our chapters really take on a life of their own. And I think that's another benefit of the chapter model, is that we provide such great support for them and guidance, but once they get going, they can be completely autonomous, because these are such motivated students and real pioneers in the sustainability industry, and they're not messing around. Like, they are going out there, they're making things happen, they're making change, and so it's just so inspiring to see them making it happen.
Yeah, I think that's really cool, is how motivated. You probably have so many success stories of different chapters, which kind of leads into the next question, which is, what have you learned from working here, either through a success or failure, that you can share with other nonprofits, kind of as a lesson learned, so something that you've learned so far from working here?
Sure. Yeah, I would say the biggest thing, so I'm relatively new to the working world. I graduated a year ago. So I'm relatively new to the nonprofit world and to the working world, but in my year of experience in working here, I think the biggest takeaway that I've learned is the importance of keeping your network at the forefront of your brain every single day. And I think Net Impact does a good job of that. At our weekly team meeting or monthly team meetings, we have what we call a mission moment. And this is when we're looking at our chapter's activities and seeing what events they're putting on, what accomplishments they've done. And to me, it's so important to keep that in the forefront of your, not only personally, but on an organizational level, to keep what they're doing really at the nexus of your decision making. And it's just so inspiring to me to see these students really take the initiative. And because I'm working on the client programs team, to work with companies who want to make change but maybe don't really know how just yet, to be able to be at the nexus of the students who are going to execute that vision and the companies who maybe don't know how to. It gives me a lot of hope for the next generation of business leaders.
Yeah, and I've actually been at Net Impact for about 2 months. So this organization is still new to me. I think one of the things that was important to me was finding a group of people who are knowledgeable and passionate about social impact and social and environmental change, and making sure that the environment was good, and was going to be something where everyone else was passionate about the same thing as you were, and you could really work to engage on the mission. So I think that's something that's important to keep in mind when people are thinking about the types of nonprofits or other types of organizations that they want to be a part of.
Very cool. And so how, if a nonprofit who maybe is tuning in, or a company, how can they get involved with Net Impact? Do they reach out?
Yeah, so please reach out to us. They can also get in touch with us about our Net Impact Conference that's coming up at the end of October 26th through the 28th. We're all so excited to see all of our members there. It's going to be another great year. And if you'd like to do a program with Net Impact, please get in touch with the client programs team. We'd love to speak with you about what your goals are and help you execute a great program for our network.
Yeah, and then I guess, what is the conference that you have coming up? I know it's in October, right? So it's very soon, but it's a really great conference. So maybe tell me a little bit more about that.
Sure, absolutely. So Net Impact runs an annual conference, which, as Hillary mentioned, this year is at the end of October 26th to 28th in Atlanta, Georgia. It's really the premier gathering of students and professionals who are interested in using their passions to make a change in the social and environmental area. It's a great opportunity to bring together undergraduates, graduates, and professionals There's great opportunities for learning about new topics, engaging in an area that you already have a passion about, and then also getting tools and resources to really turn that into something tangible. So to take your passion in energy or take your passion for corporate social responsibility and turn that into a tangible career, or accelerate your career forward, or create a project out of that, whatever the case may be for you. And so the conference is really an amazing opportunity to be with that group of people and engage around those topics in one place over 3 days.
Very cool. So that's exciting. Everybody should go check out their website, and you can see the conference. It's up on their website right now. And it's a great opportunity for a lot of people to get involved. So thank you so much for sharing everything with us today. Do we have any questions? No. All right. Well, if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in there, and we can always reach back out to Net Impact and get some of those addressed. And thank you so much for joining us. Right now, we do have a campaign called Storymakers, and we are asking nonprofits to submit their stories to us for cash prizes, so you can get up to $10,000, or there's small prizes that we're delivering, but that's our total budget. So check it out, and it's on our website, and it's also at info.techsoup.com or .org/Storymakers 2017.
Dash 2017.
And it's a great opportunity to tell us your story and to get involved back with TechSoup. And we also will be doing more of these Get to Know live series, so stay tuned on our Facebook. And thanks so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye.